Welcome to the show, Talkin Truckin with Deaton and Doty. I'm Russ Deaton, my partner in crime over here, Mike Doty. Howdy, Doty.
Howdy doody.
I was golfing last week on Friday after we did the first show, and I was telling my buddy John about it, and he said, "Who's Doty?" And I said, "Well," and he knows a few of the people in the office here. I said, "He's one of our dispatchers," and he goes, "Oh, okay." And then we got around a couple holes later, and he said, "Hey, can you say howdy Doty on the show?" And I was dying laughing, so I had to do it anyway.
Yeah, I had a bunch of nicknames: Duty, Doty, Sloth from Goonies. I cut my own hair one time, and just left that little patch on top. I was in high school, like Sloth, and one of my buddies, just forever, still calls me Sloth and sends me pics on Facebook of that dude from Goonies.
So what's going on, Mike? How was your grandma's birthday party last weekend?
Good, real good. We went to a new restaurant that opened up there in Oldsmar, Beechwood. Had some scallops and it was brunch. Had lobster and eggs. Really good place.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
It was weird. It was lobster and eggs was a little weird, but they were it was really good.
Yeah, Mike sent me a picture of the scallops, and man, they were. They were huge and great looking. Tina's got me on this keto diet, so I am struggling to find things that are fun to eat anymore. It's been 9 days trying to lose only like 10 or 15 pounds of quarantine.
You're gonna disappear,
right? I know.
Literally.
It's just right here in the front. I gotta
disappear.
Gotta drop it. And I've never been on a diet in my life, so this is kind of strange. But I've been sending Mike some pictures of what I've been eating.
I mean, you can go keto, but did you cut out beer? I mean, that's the belly.
Yeah, I know. And yes, I mean, for the most part, I mean, I figured out if I keep my carbs to zero, I can have like 3 or 4 of those Michelob Ultras, after dinner.
Awesome.
And so not every night. It's a change. But so anyway, anybody that wants to chime in on the keto, Zach over here. Zach did it for, I don't know, a year or two, Zach?
Yeah, I had salads for a whole year straight. And it was terrible.
And Zach actually disappeared. That's why you don't see him. He's invisible.
Yeah. How much did you end up losing on that, Zach?
I started at 300 and I got down to 2.
He lost 100
and then
pounds.
I gained 20 pounds back from quarantine.
And then COVID happened.
He lost Ian. He lost a whole Ian.
What about did you exercise? Did you exercise any with that?
No.
Yes, because I didn't go full keto, but I did it on the truck when I was on the truck, and I, kind of more low carbs, not full keto. But I was at 325, and lowest I got was 260, and I couldn't break that 260, 250, 260 mark. But yeah, then when I came home, I kind of just ruined it and gained about 20 pounds back. So I'm trying to get back to it.
When we were on our way back from the summit a few weeks back, I picked up those big cans of, in the Southeast, you can't get this up here, but boiled peanuts, and they're delicious. And I did find out they are keto friendly. There's no carbs, says it right on the can. So I got 3 cans of those, and been chowing. Well, you get them frozen. What's that, Mike?
The secret to good boiled peanuts is my grandmother gets them every year, bushels of you got to get green peanuts.
Yeah. Well, these are the ones,
the green peanuts.
Peanut Patch. They come in the can, and they're already brined, I guess. So you just throw them in the slow cooker. I got 1 can left. Actually, we've went through them, but I'm going to bring that in the office and with my slow cooker. We'll chow them down one day next week. Yeah.
Gross.
So we had a pretty good week here at the Deaton Fleet. We've got some trucks we want to talk to you about. We want to let you know how we've been running our trucks this week. Couple things so the other day we had every morning, or I'm sorry, what is it? 2 days a week we do the DAT thing, or 1
every Tuesday.
Yeah, I missed some of them, so that's why I don't know. But I sat in with you guys, my staff this week. Really good stuff. These 3 guys are like scientists in the market and what's coming and what's going. A couple points I want to bring up. West Coast Ports, they said, breaks 110-year record for container volume, and 110-year record, that's huge. And I got to tell you, I don't know much about the scientific stuff about the markets, but man, 110-year record broke. That's got to be good for our business. It's got to be good for rates.
Absolutely.
That's rates, a lot of volume.
Rates out of Cali have been definitely going up because of it. They don't have enough room at the ports for the number of ships that are coming in. And they're just piles of ships just waiting outside the harbor to get in.
Yeah.
So Southern Cali is going to be good for a little while. It sounds like. I think we talked about
it is terrible.
Sorry. What do you mean? What, the image quality, or
no? It just looks gross.
Oh, that was lobster and eggs.
Is it of the scallops?
Yeah, it just looks like.
Oh, no, I don't know. The picture you sent me was
it's
great.
the one. Yeah, this one. But ananyway, Southern California sounds like it's going to be hot for a while. Then,
and that's mostly just going to be dry freight.
Reefer's good out of there. I didn't really pay attention to the flat market out there. I know Tom knows a little bit more about that, but he's got his stuff he does back and forth, so he's kind of got that.
Flat market has kind of been slow in SoCal, actually. It's pretty hot all around the country except for there. Honestly,
so a couple things that I took notes on that DAT presentation. The forecast for the next 30 days for reefer, for dry van, and for flatbeds was pretty interesting. Rates are good right now, and for the next 30 days, the reefer and dry van rates are predicted to be steady, which I'm okay with steady. I mean, we'd always like them to go up, but steady's great right now, especially with this kind of market. The cool thing was for flatbeds, open decks, step decks, flatbeds, they said, and I love this, it says semi explosive growth in the next 30 days. And I saw the little chart they put up, and it was like skyrocketing to the moon. So let's go to the moon. And then when we're booking our flats and our steps, let's ask for every penny in the world, because they need the capacity. So we want to get the most revenue for our drivers on those trucks. So that's pretty exciting. Really cool forecast. Before we get to your trucks, Mike, and how you ran them this week, I did want to recap the fishing contest that we're having here on the show. Tom came up with a really good idea, because he sent, and Zach's going to put up some pictures, if he hasn't already, on this show, of the people that have sent in pictures with their fish. And Tom had a really good idea that instead, if someone on our staff wins the contest, we're going to put everybody else that entered the contest, we're going to put their name in a hat, and we'll draw it out of a hat, and that person's going to give away that card. So it's fair, because a lot of us on the staff here, we want to enter the contest, but we want to give it to someone else that's not a part of the office staff. So thanks, Tom, for that idea. We appreciate it. And did you see the monster fish that Tom sent in? I'm sure Zach's putting it up there now, but yeah, 47-pound striper bass. Way to go, Tom. Nice fish. Mike has got he's got his work cut out for him.
No, you should see the pictures that Mike sent me. They are
Mike,
huge.
I was gonna say
Mike sent some more.
Yeah, he flooded the Instagram's page with.
So I sent Mike the picture that Tom sent me of his fish for the contest, 47-pound monster, and now Mike's flooding Zach with pictures of bigger fish. That's funny, Mike.
they weren't too much bigger. I got quite a few fishing picks, and as much as I fish, the guys that I'm in this fishing league, it's like a softball league for fishing, but a lot of those guys put me to shame. I mean, hell, my oldest son puts me to shame, and I fish quite a bit. So.
Mike, I was thinking about something to make it a little bit harder for you. No salt water, fresh only.
Oh, well, he does live by a lot of inland lakes, right, Mike?
Yeah, we don't have the striper bass and stuff. We and get you some pics of some gators or something.
No, it's got to have gills
or a bass.
Who sent me a picture of a shark? Was that you, Russ?
Yeah, my nephew sent that in after watching the show. My nephew Isaac sent in the picture of the shark he caught when he was visiting his grandparents down in Florida. Pretty cool. Thanks, Isaac. So my mom sent in a picture of a monster grouper too. You guys will see that on there. And I asked my dad, are you sending a picture? We really want you to for the show. for the contest, and he's like, I'm trying. I can't find one to beat the size of your mom's fish. So he's still looking. And Zach, that was your dad, right? That the picture you sent, that monster minnow.
Oh yeah, that was him.
Or I'm sorry, that was Ian's dad. I meant.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the little update on the fishing contest. Just send in the pictures to Zach. He'll give you the information where you need to send it to.
I bought a GoPro for when I go fishing next week, so I should come back with some good footage.
Oh no, we're gonna have some footage too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some
Tarkin. A couple things before we get into a little more trucking. Joel, are you with me, brother? So Joel is going to give us a update on what just happened in the wild world of wrestling. So what's the deal here? I watched the Masters all weekend. I sat out on my back deck as much as possible and watched it on my iPad that I got for my birthday, which is really cool. And I was hooked on the Masters. I'm kind of new into golf, but yeah, it was great. And then Joel was watching. I guess this is like a Masters of Wrestling, right, Joel?
No.
What is this? What happened?
You're going to be disappointed.
3 days of wrestling.
I missed it. I used to be a huge fan.
3 days of wrestling.
Yeah. Do they get a jacket? Oh, you get a belt afterwards.
Yeah, a little bit of money, I think. Well, to my understanding, there was a women's tag team championship between Nia Jax and her partner Shayna Baszler against Tarina and Natalia. It turns out that Baszler put Natalia in the Kurafuda clutch.
The Kurafuda clutch?
the Kurafuda clutch.
Okay.
Some kind of chokehold.
Okay.
At any rate, that match was rated a B+, and they remained the women's tag team champions. In the second match, we had the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, with the fruitcake, Alexa Bliss. She's supposedly some possessed, kind of like Annabelle doll now that runs with the Fiend. Yeah, you have to watch to kind of get the gist of.
So is this show? This was the first day of it? This is the women's wrestling?
I couldn't tell you if it was the first or second. Like
Okay.
I said, I didn't see the event. But when I was told it was not as good as past events.
Yeah.
But
so Joel, wasn't that in Tampa? Was that in Tampa?
Yes, it was. It was a Raymond James Stadium down there in Tampa. Mike, you should have probably done this. You were probably there.
Yeah, I saw some of my buddies. I haven't talked to them in a while, but on Facebook, I saw some posted. So I had some tickets for sale.
It's actually been down there for the last since COVID hit down there in the Thunderdome.
So what's that chokehold called again, Joel?
Oh, the Kurafuda clutch. Would you like
Kurafuda?
K-I-R.
Can you demonstrate?
Can you go back there so Joel
can you demonstrate on Russ?
That's right. Ian, I need you to know. In our second match, we had the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, with the fruitcake, Alexa Bliss, versus the Viper, Randy Orton. Mr. Orton won by pinfall. They say it was a violent match. That went to a C-. And I'll have you know, I found out that the Viper Randy Orton was in my old unit, Alpha Company 1-4, 1st Battalion, 4th Marines. Hoorah.
Hoorah.
I heard he was no.
Excuse me.
You got to use the horn on that one.
We are editing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jim. And our third match, Kevin Owens wins by pinfall over his old friend Sami Zayn. Lots of suplexes, lots of brain busters. That one rated a B-.
Didn't he do a Stone Cold Stunner too?
Kevin Owens, he's known for the cannonball, but I think he may have pulled off one of Stone Cold's old gems.
Did he pull off one of those K-cup clutchers, or what was that called again?
K-cup. The Kurafuda clutch.
The Kurafuda clutch.
We're going to demonstrate that before the night's over.
The Keurig clutch. Yeah, that's how I remember it.
In our fourth match, we had the ultimate bra, Riddle, against the Irish hooligan Sheamus. In a brutal B-rated match, Sheamus comes out the winner in a pinfall. In our fifth match, the Intercontinental Championship, Big E versus Apollo Crews in, I didn't name this, a Nigerian drum fight.
A what?
The match rated
That's what it was called, the match.
an A minus. No shit. Oh, sorry, Jim.
Another horn?
Lots of sticks, I am told. But in the end, Apollo Crews won by pinfall over his former pal, Big E.
So was that what's the big match, Joel? Like,
Yep.
was Hulk Hogan in it?
So Hulk Hogan actually, he kicked the show off with Vince McMahon, and they introduced WrestleMania 37.
Can you do that? You know that let's get ready. Is that what Vince McMahon does? The let's get ready to run. Can you do that?
Me?
Yeah, I heard you could.
What about like Michael Buffer?
I heard you could do it. I heard you could do the
I think
beginning
that's
of the
for
wrestling
boxing.
thing, or yeah.
Maybe.
Come on, Joel.
Boys and girls, children of all ages.
There you go.
Oh hell! Sorry, Jim. Give me a key. I'll get back with you on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joel, can you jump off the top of the cage
Yeah.
on top of a table?
Probably could, but my insurance, I don't know. I don't know if I could stand up. In the Raw Women's Championship match 6, we had the incumbent champion Asuka versus up and newcomer Rhea Ripley.
Zach, do you know who any of these wrestlers are?
No, I
No.
stopped watching wrestling in like 2002.
Oh, okay. Anyway, go ahead, Joel.
Well, Ripley won by pinfall and became the new champion, and that went as a B plus. I heard she defended the following night on Raw and won as well.
Well, Joel, listen.
And our main event, right?
That's what I was getting to.
The Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan versus Edge in a brutal, bloody pinfalls anywhere. The match
Was this in a cage?
this
Barbed wire.
barbed wire, cage,
Whoa.
bombs, you name it, tacks, glass. Reigns ended up winning, and he remained the Universal Champion. And there you have it, sports fans, from Joel, the Toothless Wonder.
All around the world, Joel is well known for being.
I want to thank you, truckers, for being out there 24/7. You don't
Yes.
have cable, and you miss some of these events. If I can bring them to you next time, well, let me know.
That's awesome, Joel. We appreciate it, and
Or
we know there's a lot of drivers out there that do like wrestling, so we gave you the update. Thanks, Joel. How are we
You're
doing?
promising editing. So.
Yeah. Hey, you got a few more? We were naming wrestlers. You give us a few more
He just
names.
gave us like 30.
I know, but
He's
just give us
just
a few
named-
more off the naming wrestlers list.
Oh,
Couple more, just
oh,
a
all right.
handful, maybe 5 or 6.
All right.
If
How
you
about,
asked.
Going.
how about Bubba Ray Dudley, Hacksaw Jim Duncan,
Dugan. I remember that one when I was a kid.
Big John Stud,
Yeah.
Ernie the Cat
Let's
Lad,
go. Yeah.
Big Boss Man, Bam Bam Bigelow. How we doing?
That's great.
That's
One
really
more.
gun.
One more.
Bart Gunn,
All right.
Bart Gunn.
Cesaro, Gary Von Erich,
Were any of those real?
Matt Hardy,
Yeah,
Off
those
the
are real.
rails.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes.
All right.
we're
Thanks,
good.
Joel. We really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
That's
I know
awesome.
I kind of suck, but
No, you were great.
Thank
You were
thank
great.
Thank you.
And a lot of drivers
Come
will
again.
appreciate that. So, Mike, let's talk about some things. What do you think, Mike? How'd we do this week with your drivers? Where'd they run?
Good. Hang on, let me bring it up here. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me share this screen.
By the way,
So I'm
while
gonna.
he's doing that, that truck in the
Yeah.
background, it was Mike's first truck he bought. Now he's got another driver's driving it. One driver he used to team with.
Yeah, my company drivers. So let me go back here.
Well, in the meantime, I can start with Jim Mackey. We can
Yeah.
we can go over where he ran.
I got
Started
it up
out
here.
the week.
Jim is on the call.
Oh yeah, Jim is on our call as well, listening in for now. But we started out our week over in Louisiana. He ran up to Oklahoma City from there. Got about 1850 on 700 miles. From Oklahoma, we ran down to Corsicana. Did a good one, 750 on 170 miles loaded. From there, what was the next one that we did there, Jim? It was a real short one. I think it was only Arlington to Arlington. It was like $450 for 600 miles, or for 6 miles. Sorry.
Yeah, 5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
A total of 4 hours involved in it.
After that, I think we've just finished off with one of those Roanoke, Texases going over to Louisiana. Those are a tire load that we get from our corporate. Those are pretty good paying, 1,700 on only like 550 miles, and he ended up finishing like 6,800 for the week and only ran like 3 or 4 states and barely any miles.
Yeah, that's good.
So it was a really good week for him.
So Jim, I'm going to bring you in a little bit, but I want to get back to Doty. You got your stuff up and ready. We'll talk about a couple of the drivers that we wanted to go over.
Yeah. So so this was Robbie's route. Can you see this? Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So this is Robbie's route for the week. We talked about him last week. This year. He came out of Florida Friday. We got him a customer load out of Florida Friday. He delivered in McCook, Illinois, Monday morning, and then he picked up in Bedford. Went over to Zanesville. I got him 2,000 on that load.
How many miles was it?
We did get lucky. Let's see here. So that was 412 miles. From Bedford Park to Zanesville.
In a dry van, $2,000. That's a good rate.
Yeah, I hit him with a high rate because he's running on. So here's what happened. He's running on recap hours. So he's getting kind of low. He needed to get some back. And this load wasn't supposed to deliver till 8 o'clock Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And he picked up late Monday afternoon. So I did some research and I looked at the reviews on this receiver, and it had great reviews as far as ship it or receiving. And even one of the reviews said 16 hours. They arrived 16 hours earlier and were unloaded in 45 minutes. So I talked to him. I said, run over there, see if you can get unloaded, because it sounds like they'll unload you. And he did. He got unloaded at about 2 a.m. And I got him his next load Wednesday morning. He picked up in Lockburn, Ohio, ran down to London, Kentucky, for $1,600, and he just grabbed the load.
300-400 miles.
E3 something, I think. Yeah. And then he ran from Danville up to Wheeling, West Virginia. I got him 11 something on that, I believe.
Yeah.
And then he's picking up that customer load out of Barberton, running over to Fredericksburg, and he'll be empty Friday. So these are his total miles, 1,650 miles. With his deadhead, and he will be at 72.21
on 1,600 miles. His fuel's going to be low. That's a great week. It's efficient,
and he's still got to get a Friday load, a weekend load. So,
and that's that's a new customer. Fairly, Ian.
He has to call that contact.
Aaron, Ian, that Barberton, our customer in Barberton, we've been doing that for about a year, right? A little bit here, a little bit there.
A little bit more than a year.
Yeah. They've been really good.
It's been about sometimes it's 1 a month, sometimes it's 3 a month. But just this in the past 30 days, I think we've gotten a bunch more requests. So we should be doing a lot more of those soon. I'm hoping that we'll be at a point where we're doing 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah, so. They're really, really happy with us. Jim sent me a couple of messages he got back from them. Whether we broker the load or we'd prefer to put it on our trucks, but we don't always have someone in the area. So if we can't put it on a Meadowlark truck or any Meadowlark truck, we've put it on Derica's truck, D-Woman Trucking, another Meadowlark agent. We put the one before on her truck, right, Ian? Yeah. So any Meadowlark agent, if they've got a truck in the area, when we got one of those loads, we kind of put it out there to them and see if we can keep it on a Meadowlark truck. If not, we'll broker it. But Robbie took that one this week. That was about 2,500 on 400 miles, 390. Not bad.
Yeah, he did really well. Like I said, we got lucky with him being able to unload, but he did the work. I did a little bit of research for him, and he went over there and made sure he could get unloaded and did. So, when things happen like that, it works in our favor.
Yeah, I want to recap real quick, Mike, and then we'll get on to another guy for you. But so last week when we were on the show, Mike, I mentioned what I was doing with Jesse. And so I mentioned a load I got him. it was 34 on Thursday. It was supposed to be delivered on Thursday. Well, he got $3,400 on 500 miles going down to Port Orange. Had 3 stops. What happened after the show last week? He got to one of the stops, and they didn't have an appointment made, so they didn't take the freight. Jesse was on time with everything. We delivered the 2 stops, and then the customer that we were working with, the broker, ended up paying us $1,500 to go back 500 miles to up into the Atlanta area. So that's $4,900 on 1,000 miles. And then when he got there, that shipper Friday, he got back Friday. No, he got back Saturday morning to the original shipper to take that freight off. So he was at $4,900. It's the only load he had for the week. He sat, and they paid us $1,200 over the weekend for layover. And I got to admit, they were good to work with, weren't they, Ian? They were really good to work with. We stayed on, and our dispatch team, our night dispatch, we stayed on top of it. We made sure that they had updates constantly. And so another $1,200 put us at roughly around $6,100. And then Monday, when he got empty, finally Monday morning, we found a short load, 148 miles. Ian, you got that load for him, 148 miles for $1,000. So he's at $70 or $7,100 for the week, and he drove 1,150 miles. Part of that was a little luck with the detention and stuff, and he got a little time off on the weekend because of that. But it was a really good week. So I just wanted to update you on that load and what it actually turned out to be. A really dream week for. He probably didn't even he probably burned a tank of fuel or a little more, but really low fuel, a lot of layover. Mike, I can't hear you.
Sorry, you cut out on my side there for a bit. So what did he end up with?
He ended up
with,
so he ended
what did
up
he end
with,
up with Monday?
Monday he was at 6,100 on 1,000 miles with the layover and the return money that they gave us, the 1,500 to go back the 500. So 1,000 miles, 6,100.
And when did he pick that load up?
He picked it up Wednesday, and was supposed to get it off. Two stops were Thursday, and the last was Friday morning. But the second stop on Thursday is the one that wouldn't take the product. So he went and finished the other stops, and then that's when we made a deal with them to pay us another 1,500 to go back 500 miles. That put us at 49. And then we didn't know we were going to get hung up over the weekend, but we did. And they sent us a revised rate con for 300 a day. We counted it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because he didn't get it off till Monday. So they paid us for all 4 days. And so we were at about 6,100 on 1,000 miles. That's great. And then that's when Ian found that load for 148 miles. Danny got us that load, 148 miles for $1,000. And that ended the week, Monday to Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. He was empty, $7,000 on 1,150 miles. Not bad. And no. Jesse, I got to say, he's a great driver. He's been really, really, really good to have on our fleet. And he takes care of the truck. He takes care of his business as far as being on time and all that. So I appreciate it, Jesse. Also, I took care of Jesse. I told him, don't worry about the miles because he gets paid by the mile. But I said, don't worry about that. I'll pay you for a full week, buddy. You did a great job.
Nice.
So who do you want to go to next, Mike?
Let me see here. I mean, for the most part, I got Marcus. We talked about that last week. He does those drop and hooks. It was, kind of the same thing. He does about 6,600 and he's home from Friday to Sunday. But trying to think here. I mean, I got my truck, this truck right here.
Yeah.
He's been home, so I don't have his things, but I have some settlements I can show you guys that I kind of blocked out some stuff. I'm not good with editing, so I have just
the personal stuff he took out, but just so I can tell you
some stuff. But you can see, I'll share the screen here again. So
this is a dry van.
People can get an idea.
Yeah, dry van. Mike books the truck, and it's pretty impressive what kind of money that he's netting on this truck.
Well, like I said, it's this truck right here that I have a company driver in. So I own the truck and trailer. This was a when I used the Meadowlark trailer, but you'll be able to see the deductions and everything. Let me get it up here. So let's see.
And keep in mind these settlements that he's going to show you, there's no truck payment taken out because it's Mike's truck and trailer. So those two items are not part of the fixed cost. But you know, even if you were in a lease truck, you add $800,000 more and you're still making good money on, you know, if you had a full service lease truck.
Yeah. And trailer, you know, because and the trailer, our trailers too, all the maintenance is covered as well. Aside from blowouts, but the tires, but yeah, so this is one of the settlements. I kind of just went through and grabbed a couple and edited some things out. But for the most part, you can see how our settlements run. These are the freight earnings, the fuel deductions. This is we 100% of the fuel surcharge.
And let me just stop you there, Mike, because I don't think I've mentioned that before on the show. But so when our drivers get paid, they get paid on a percentage. Our drivers are getting paid 100%. So what's the fuel this week, Zach?
36.
So 36 cents a mile, loaded mile. That first 36 cents of the loaded miles, our drivers get 100% of that. And then they get their percentage of the line haul, which is that difference. So not a lot of companies do that. We do that. We're really proud of that because the driver, you know, is paying for the fuel. So he should get the fuel surcharge.
And it helps when fuel starts going up like it has been. So, you know, getting paid 36 cents a mile is
at 100%.
All the loaded miles. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway,
helps out. But so yeah, you can see here the deductions. My deductions are low again. I own the truck and trailer. I have to pay those payments, but these are just the standard deductions. And you know, this week, kind of a okay week. Took home 3,500.
He took home 35.57 out of that on that week, and out of that, Mike's got to pay his driver.
Yeah, I pay him a percentage of this.
He gets a percentage.
This number right here. I pay him a percentage of this, but it was an agreement we had for him to come over, and I pay him pretty well because he came over from a different job, and I teamed with him when I first started driving, and so I knew he would do well. He wouldn't change a damn wiper blade, but I knew that going in. He's not mechanically inclined at all, but he's a good driver, great driver.
Yeah, he is.
So that's one, and then you can see here same thing. This was in California. It started heating up. Let's see, it was back last month, about a month ago actually. I just started heating up before this, but he lives in Delaware, so I just sent him straight home. You know, you see the fuel coming out of the load. This was the fuel surcharge on that. And this was when so this trailer deduction right here, I pulled a Fema load and had to drop my trailer. And I think I have that settlement coming up, but I pulled a Fema load, had to drop my trailer. So I had to borrow a Meadowlark trailer for a week. So that's where that deduction comes in. And, you know, took home 46.20 that week. Keep it moving. Here's freight, fuel surcharge, all the fuel. Let's see, this deductions were a little bit higher. I had Meadowlark. I had to change, I think 2 wheel seals were leaking. I went ahead and changed all 4. Mud flap DOT lights. Again, this goes back to, I knew going in Tom wasn't going to turn a wrench, but he's well worth it. So that's where that deduction comes in. But so this one, you know, $1,800, 1866.
So you can see, and this is a dry van. I mean, we're being very transparent here. These, you know,
this one I don't.
Fleet.
Yeah, these were some short loads, and I think too some of these fuel things. Like I said, when I edited, I just did one big black thing because I don't know how to edit line by line. You know, This isn't my forte, but I think a couple of these fuels were from the week before. So, you know, if he puts in the wrong load number for fuel. Sometimes it takes a week or so to catch up. So there may be more fuel on this one. So, and going forward, this is the last one that I did here. This was the Fema Load. This one paid.
Week.
Yeah, so what happened this week is I booked him a load out of his. He lives in Delaware. He was home. I booked him a load out of Sunday out of Delaware. He went over to pick it up. Something happened. They had to cancel it. That we got the truck order not used for it. And I actually found this Fema Load going from Cumberland, Maryland to Pineville, Louisiana. What was it, paying like $9,000? And then that's where I had to drop my trailer, and they paid $100 a day for my trailer. So yeah, this was 1,200 miles.
Yeah,
whatever Cumberland, Maryland, and Pineville, Louisiana is. So yeah, that week
it doesn't always happen like that, I will say.
No,
we got a little luck. It's never hurts to have a little luck. And
but you add those weeks in here and there, it adds up. You know,
it does.
Like Robbie this week, being able to deliver that load early. You know,
1,600 miles on $7,500 or whatever it was. That's
awesome. If you hustle and you're on point, things will fall your way here and there.
Definitely.
So yeah, these were the basic. This one's probably more the norm, I would say, maybe a little bit more because I had that extra deduction, but this is probably more the norm for that truck when he's running.
Yeah,
somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000.
I do want to give a shout out, Mike. We really like our friendship and partnership with Truckworx, and we got another driver that's buying a second truck. Ray's buying his second truck from Truckworx, and he's actually buying the trade-in that Selby traded in because they're friends. He knows the history. It's a really nice 2017 T680. So thanks, Brian, for helping Ray out on that, and Ray's pretty excited. So yeah, go Truckworx.
Yeah, I got to give him a call too. I'm going to see about getting a truck possibly to run that guy out of Florida, but we'll see about that.
And your Yeti.
Yeah, I'm not buying another truck before I get my Yeti.
You should mention that they are down in Dothan, Alabama. They also have I think 10 or 11 other locations throughout Alabama.
They got one in Mississippi. I think they got 9 in Alabama. They got 1 in Mississippi. We appreciate them, and we look forward to buying more trucks from them. They've been really great.
Russ got a cooler and a soft cooler, I got a cup. And I got a cup.
And I got a hoodie too. And I think I got a couple t-shirts.
No, I got these unexpected. They sent them to me for Christmas.
Yeah, Brian said he's going to work on a package. You know, can I just tell you a real quick funny story that Brian and I and Ian, I think Ian was involved in this. Tom, I know you were mad at us for this, but so Tom wanted a Yeti. And when we bought those last 4 trucks, Brian and I came up with a little idea. Instead of sending him a Yeti cooler, Brian went online and we bought a Dora the Explorer lunchbox, and we sent it to Tom. We told him his cooler was on the way. Tom was pretty excited, and then he got that thing. He was, we would have had a lot of air horns on the show if Tom, if you would have heard that.
You really did that to him?
We really did that to him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny. And then he told Brian that he said, you want to be careful when I'm sending that lunchbox back. You're not going to be happy with what's in it. I don't know, but it was funny. Tom, sorry about that. It was kind of my idea. We love you, man.
I'm going to continue to give Brian crap about me not getting one because I think I would use the Yeti more than any of you guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be my excuse anyway.
Be throwing fish in it. Yeah.
That's going to be my excuse.
Well, I got to admit, okay, I really, really like that cooler. Brian did send me another one, a soft Yeti cooler, which is nice. But what I did with that first hard shell cooler, when Mark Chavez got into his new truck, didn't have a fridge. I said, Mark, you can borrow this brand new Yeti cooler that I just got from Brian. I said, you can borrow this. And this was about a year and a few months ago. Mark, I still haven't got my cooler back. So hint.
That salsa is still in the refrigerator.
Oh no, I threw it away.
Yeah.
My whole thing is I buy Mark here immediately.
So I buy I bought my cooler from Walmart. My whole thing is I don't want to spend that much on a cooler. So I am gonna work it in with my next truck buy.
Well, listen, guys, I want to bring in a really special guest on the show. On the show today, we got Mr. Jim Mackey. Jim's been with Meadowlark for 9 years, right, Jim? How you doing,
October
Jim?
1st will be 9 years.
9 years.
Hi.
Thanks for all you do, Jim. We really appreciate it. And everybody knows you. And yeah. So in 2013, Jim, what happened?
I was driver of the year.
Driver of the year, 2013. And then how about tell us a little bit about yourself, about the truck? What's going on, Jim? Where you headed?
Well, I loaded today in Mississippi Nursery. We got 3 stops in Dallas area tomorrow. Trying to get there.
Let's talk about that load. They put how large of a tree on your truck?
Oh, there's about 7 trees in the back that are probably 20 foot tall.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, tomorrow I'm gonna have to wash the mud out.
What are they? Christmas
'Cause
trees?
that's only-
For Christmas
No,
in July?
magnolia trees. Magnolia trees.
How many people did it take to get it in the truck or in the trailer?
There was 4 guys holding on to with hooks, holding on to the tub, and 2 guys holding the top of the tree as they took it into the truck. There was about 7 of them.
Yeah.
So you know that tub's going to be tipped on its side, and it was clear full of dirt. So I'm going to have a mud pie.
Yeah, because Jim's in a dry van. He's not usually with those big trees. They'll load on a flatter step, right? Where they slide it in the van.
Yep. But
so
they got them in there.
Pies, speaking
what
of,
about them?
Speaking of mud pies, Jim, you should be pretty familiar.
Those are called cow pies.
Cow pies, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're talking about my brother's deal that I'm helping out on. He's got a cattle.
Before we get into that, okay, let's talk about how many half a cows you bought so far.
I really haven't bought any. I've talked about buying some, but
we're working.
I haven't bought any yet. I'm working on it.
Yeah. So, yeah, tell us what's going on, man, with the you and your brother down in Brenham, Texas. What's coming up this summer?
They're on May 9th, 6th through the 9th. They're having a cattle show, and it's a big deal. I don't know. We was going to try to get him in here to explain it, but there's it's for the kids.
I'm here.
All right.
He's here.
All right, you can tell them about it.
How you doing, Mr.
You tell
Mackey?
them all about it.
I'm doing well. You?
Good. Glad to have you on the show.
Well, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Deaton as a Meadowlark fleet for being a sponsor of the show. That really what makes the thing go for all the kids is the sponsors that help out so we can make it a really good event for them.
Well, we're really proud to. Jim's been a part of our family here, and it's the least we can do. And matter of fact, his dispatcher, Ian, and Tina and I are coming down. We're going to fly down there this summer, and we're going to the show.
Wow. It's going to be awesome. I hope you like crawfish.
Oh, we do. I told Jim I'll help him park cars in the parking lot.
Okay. Can Ian run a manure fork?
Oh, sure. Yeah, he does that all the time.
Okay.
I'll try anything once.
He has a bunch of cats too, so he's used to manure forks.
Jim and Jim.
So anyway, yeah, tell us more about what's going on. This is pretty cool, and we're gonna put the flyer that you sent us. We're gonna put it up on the screen here too for our viewers to see.
Okay. So what we're doing is it's myself and 2 other families, my family, and we wanted to do something that was a little bit different than everyone else. Just as an example, in Texas here, most of the time you go to a show and you pay $100 to enter, and the winner gets an $85 belt buckle, and everybody else goes home.
Right.
And we didn't want to do that, so we're giving $2,500 to win and $1,000 and paying top 5 prizes. We're giving away lots of coats. We've got a 15.
I think we lost you. Jim, are you there?
1,500.
There you are. Say that again. You $1,500 what?
$1,500 hair dryer for the cattle, for show cattle. And we purchased it, and we're just giving it to kids. We're giving away a lot of stuff to them, where Bluebell Ice Cream is going to be there and give away ice cream the whole time. And we just got a lot of really neat things going on, and we're expecting, we don't know, our entries haven't closed, but somewhere between 800 and 1,200 cattle from.
So basically, let me ask you a question. So these cattle are show cattle that
I talked to a guy in Oklahoma the other day that's coming. I talked to a guy in Alabama.
Yeah.
Whoops, I lost you for a second there.
Yeah, we lost you. You were breaking up. But so I got a question for you. So these, just so I understand it, from being up here in Northeast Ohio, I'm not around too many cows. These are show cattle that you got kids and like 4-H kind of thing where they're bringing them in and I guess they show them and they get a prize for it. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they'll all, it's all for 4-H and FFA kids, of course, but it's, they'll, each, Angus, Emmental, Charolais, different breeds will show against themselves, and then of each breed each kid's going to win stuff for winning their class and winning their breed, but then they all come together, all the champions, and we pick a top 5 overall, and those kids are going to win a lot of stuff, and I just like you to know that this is a 501c nonprofit. We're not doing it for the money.
Right.
My kids have got so much out of this. I'm sure Jim's told you about my kids. 3 out of the 4 are going to be doctors now, and they've learned a lot through this program. John's kids have learned a ton, and Heath's kids.
Yeah.
But it's just our time to give back to the kids, and
we love it.
So because we've got so much out of it.
We love it, and we're proud to be a sponsor, and it's just because of our close relationship Ian and I have with Jim Mackey and even Tina. We're really excited to come down and go. So thanks for inviting us, and we're a proud sponsor. So thanks for calling in, man.
Very good. You bet. Thank you, sir.
All right. Hey, Jim, you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit more about you, buddy. Okay. How many years you been driving?
August 1st, I started 40 years ago.
40 years.
Where'd you start out, Jim? Anywhere that's still around?
My first job was driving for Jones Motor out of Spring City, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they're still around.
During that time, I was there for about 7 years. 4 of them years, I did 1 to 2 days almost every week in New York City with a flatbed.
I can't imagine Jim Mackey driving into New York City these days. Can you guys?
I was literally just about to say that.
Still do it for $1,000.
I've said before. If I booked myself, when I was booking myself, and I would go into New York City, I'd shoot some astronomical rate and then just go right to Maryland and have somebody else take it in and bring my trailer back because I'm staying away from the New York.
Well, I'll tell you what, you pay me. You give me the right money, and I'll take it there.
Well, after 40,
it ain't as cheap as it used to be.
No. The first time my wife came on the road with me, we paid $110 to go across the George Washington Bridge.
Yeah, I think it's 160 now, right? Something like that.
When I first started going to New York City, I was driving a cab over and pulling a flatbed, and I was short enough. I used to go down through the Holland Tunnel. It was free to go in and cost $7.50 to come out.
Wow. Jim, I remember you telling me a story about one time you were in, I think it was the Bronx, involving a sports car and a police officer. Do you remember that one?
No, that was in Queens.
Okay.
And
what happened there?
I was going around the corner, and I lost sight on my blind side. So I stopped the truck, and I got out, and I walked around to see what the deal was, because I knew there was this really nice little sports car sitting there. And I looked at it, and this officer walked up to me. He said, "Son, what's your problems?" You know, I was about 25, 30 years old at that time. And I says, "Well, there's cars in my way. Can you help me with traffic control so I could back up and maybe swing out a little bit wider and get around it?" And he says, no, I'll take care of this for you, son. And he walked over to that car, and he yelled as loud as he could, "Who owns this car?" And he pointed at it. He waited a couple minutes. He did it again. He said, "Son, did you hear anybody answer me?" And I said, "No, sir." He said, "Drive on." I said, "But what about," and he stopped me and he said, "You want a ticket for obstructing the flow of traffic?" I said, "No, sir." I got my truck and drove on. You know, it slid about 6 inches to the curb. Then my trailer went right up over the hood.
Jim's got so many stories from his 40 years of driving
in Queens.
And he doesn't forget any of them. I've been on the phone with Jim when something broke on his truck and at night, and we're talking about what's broke and how to fix it. And most of the stuff Jim has fixed in a truck stop parking lot. He's a very good mechanic and not afraid to tackle any repair on his truck that he can handle on the road, saving money from going into a shop.
I've changed the air compressor all right in the parking lot.
Yeah. And Jim, this is so you had a truck that was paid off and you drove it till the wheels fell off, and that was about a year ago.
Yes, I bought it. The day I started was the day I got the truck and went on with Metal Art.
So 9 years ago.
07 Century.
Yeah.
Yes. And I run it for 8 years until the expenses overcome the income, and I had to park it with 1,670,000 miles on it.
That's awesome. And I'm going to tell you, Jim had every Band-Aid in the world on that truck. I mean, there's so many times we've talked at night about what he was fixing on it this time or that time. He put a lot of work into it. It made him some money. But at the end of the day, you know, that was just enough. And so, Jim, now tell us about the truck you're in now.
Well, I got it, what was that, October 16 International. I bought it I'm buying it from Mr. Doty. They come through Truckworx. And we don't work that awful hard. I've only put, 55,000 miles on it now. But it's been profitable miles.
Yeah, you've made some good money on that truck, and we're happy to see it.
Yeah, good. So, that's a truck that couldn't have gone to a better person.
Yeah,
someone that's been here that long.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was cool.
Well, I was happy to give that.
When Mike had that truck available, and I told him immediately, I was like, we got to talk to Jim. We got to talk to Mike, because what a great opportunity for you. And it'll be paid off in another year, roughly, maybe another 2 years. So that's cool, man. We're really glad that worked out for you, Jim.
Yeah, I gave it some Red Bull the other day, and I got some wings out there on my hood now.
Oh, I saw that, Jim. I saw your post.
Yeah.
I saw that. That looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one other company I'd like to mention that I work for, I spent 5 years driving for Montfort.
Never heard of them.
Remember Montfort? Yeah. Montfort hauled meat out of Colorado? The Outlaws Legends.
Oh,
Never heard of them?
The name sounds familiar, but I can't really place it. Can you, Mike?
No, I haven't heard of them. No.
Oh, back in the 70s and the 80s, early 90s is about when it all quit. There was the Outlaws. They guaranteed meat delivery from Greeley, Colorado to anywhere in the country within 36 hours.
Wow. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, we had a lot of 100-mile-an-hour driving nights. I used to overnight from Chicago to Denver, turn around, overnight back.
Trucking was a different world back then.
I was going to say, I have a feeling a lot of guys were running like that back then.
Yeah.
3 or 4 logbooks.
My favorite load was a load of swinging lamb, Greeley, Colorado to Boston meat market.
That's rough around the corner,
5 miles. Sometimes. Sometimes it is. But it was 5 miles short of 2,000 miles. They gave me 2.5 days and said weather was no excuse.
Wow.
Yeah, those are the days.
Well, it's nice to see you now, Jim. You get to kind of run in the areas you like. You're staying out of the weather. You and Ian have worked together for several years. You guys just have a good thing going, and Ian knows how you want to run, where you want to run, and sometimes you get crabby with him, and sometimes he gets crabby with you. But overall, it's a pretty cool how you guys have seemed to work together as he's your travel agent.
Yep.
And he likes cats
okay
too.
For me.
He likes cats too.
Yeah, I don't have any cats in this truck.
I know.
My brother won't let me have them.
Yeah. So they're all
he
at the
says,
farm
"We'll get
now?
you a dog." Yeah, they got their own place.
That's cool.
All 17 of them. But yeah, one time when I parked my red truck, I had 17 cats that rode with me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
man.
an incredible story. But he
To his
did.
face.
We've seen the pictures. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He
Well,
says,
Jim,
"We'll find you a dog who'll go with you."
Yeah.
I'm
Well, listen,
surprised you
Jim.
didn't lose any of those suckers on the road.
They didn't want to jump.
No.
He spoiled them. They didn't want to get out of the truck.
I'm going to be honest with you. I had them cats trained so well, I could roll the window down and I could walk away from that truck and not one of them would go out.
That's cool. Yeah.
Keep out the window.
Well, listen,
I could
Jim.
leave the door open even.
Listen, Jim, I want to tell you thanks for, calling in and being a part of our show. Yeah, we just thank you for all that you've done over the years for Meadowlark and for us. And we look forward to many more. And you be safe out there, buddy.
Yep. Anytime you want to hear some more stories, just let me come in.
Oh, we'll be calling you, or you'll
Yeah.
be calling in. We look forward to it. Yeah.
Weekly story time with Jim.
Yeah, I love it.
One story,
All right.
one story a week.
All right,
He's
Jim, you
probably
be
filling up
safe.
about a year.
I'm gonna get to a couple things before we get off the air here. Joel, you got any more wrestlers for us? Just a couple?
Nope.
Come on,
Greg the
bring
Ha-
it.
Greg the Hammer Valentine. Mr. Wrestling #2, Chief Wahoo McDaniel.
There you go, Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Speaking of Chief Wahoo,
That's right. That's right.
I'm a Cleveland
Yokozuna.
fan. Anyway, Mike, you got anything before we get off here?
No, I mean, I think I ran through a couple of my guys, what they went through. Potts will actually be coming out. The one that's in this truck will be coming out. I booked him a load out of his house for tomorrow, so I'll be able to talk about him a little bit next week. And
Hey, you know what I
Yeah.
wanted to say real quick? Mike and I had a conference call with a guy today. I'm not going to mention his name, but we did give him the link to the show. He is coming aboard. He just did all his paperwork's done, did his drug test. We're good to go. So he'll be with us on our fleet in 2 weeks. And so I'm sure he's going to watch this. He's pretty excited to be with us. Mike's going to dispatch him. And I want to let him know that Mike, I spent a good hour with him yesterday, and Mike and I probably spent an hour with him today. And we're really excited to have him on our fleet. And he knows who he is, but we're really excited to, get to know you and build a relationship together. So
yeah, he seemed like a
that's
really
cool.
nice guy.
He
Yeah,
did.
he seemed
I
like
think
a-
he'll be a great fit for our team.
I like working with guys like that who want to learn, want
Yeah,
to learn.
yeah, he wants to grow in this, and that's great. Couple things, we talked about Truckworx. I just want to give a shout out to Truckworx again. Appreciate all your help. It's cool that Ray's getting ready to buy Robert Selby's trade in, so that's going to be awesome. And we're going to take a trip down, and maybe Mike up. We'll probably meet there at the same time, but we'll take a trip to Dothan once all this COVID stuff's over, and we can visit. Maybe get Ian to go with me. He needs to leave the house a little bit. And also want to give a shout out to Over the Road Apparel. Work clothes for the modern day trucker.
Is the application will be in the description below, along with some social media links. So
Yeah,
please check us out, subscribe, follow us.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Everybody, have a great week, and go Browns, go Indians, and go Cavaliers.
See you.